Hello and welcome everybody to 2002. In the golf world, Tiger Woods was going on his 2002 tear. He was just like, oh, I'm going to win the Masters. Oh, and the US Open. Tiger Woods was tearing it up. Mizuno came out with these. MP30. It's a beautiful club. It's muscle back, gentle cavity on here. It looks like you're listening to classical music when they're designing this. It's just stunning, and it's so stunning we should get this on the review table and have a closer look. So very easy to recognize because they put in block letters their logo, Mizuno, in this dark navy blue. They have a muscle back here, cavity, muscle in the cavity. Nice, kind of semi-cavity there. And then they put the model number right here, MP30. Easy to identify. Thank you. It's simple. It's clean. Matte finish here in the cavity. The rest of it is this chrome finish. Toe profile, you can see nice thin top line. Sole is swole. It's swole. Must be working out or something. Same thing on the heel profile. On the sole, you can see a nice simple iron number. That's it. In this case, 7. Stunning, beautiful, simple, great design. At address, I don't see any offset. Do you see any offset? If you bend it like this and the wind blows right and the butterfly flaps its wings, maybe some offset? I don't see any. There could be. I love the look at address, kind of this matte finish on the grooves and the chrome on either side. Frames up the ball nicely, no nonsense, stunning. Around the hosel we see grain flow foraged. You like to forage for hosels. Black ferrule, registration number right there. I'm not sure if that's showing up on camera. Step shaft is this true temper dynamic gold. I can't even see the flex. And then this is my reminder of the year. And then we have a Golf Pride multi-compound half quarty grip. Beautiful, stunning. So if you guys remember, my old viewers remember that in Atlanta, I would talk during the range sessions. I'm going to try that again. I have some normal range footage, which I might be showing right now, and then I'm going to show you the talkie range footage.
All right, we're trying this at the range again, talking. I haven't even warmed up, and we're talking about the MP30 today. I wanted to give you some of my impressions on the range, so let's see how this works out. We might try to make this a regular segment, kind of a pilot program here. So, first thing I always notice is the grip. So this grip is a little bit hard. It's a multi-compound, half quarty. And the second thing I notice is this looks very consistent. Mizuno has always been one of the best at consistency, not only about how their clubs feel, but also look. So I mean, just looking at this, it just builds tons of confidence. So generally when I hit my first shot, I'm just going to hit what I kind of consider a power shot. So I'm expecting this to go left. And we'll talk about other shots here in a second. But let's see, with no warm-up, how we can cold hit this iron, expecting it to go about a little over 150. That was a thin heel, and it still went about 150. All right, let's try this again. See if I can get into a little bit of a groove here. I'm going to hit one more like that. Again, expecting a draw. That was a much better strike, and again, the shape that I'm used to. Yeah, perfect. It went over 150. And it looked good. All right, so the other thing I like about Mizuno's is I feel very comfortable opening up the face. And so that's a shot that I normally hit when I want to roll my iron shot somewhere. But if I want it to land and stick, generally I open my face and I feel like I'm just kind of carrying my weight a little bit more onto my front foot. I watch video and I can't actually see a difference, but that's how I feel. And it generally works. So let's try one of my slight fades. I'm aiming right at that red 150 marker, and we'll see how it works. Again, a little thin. I feel like I'm not loosened up enough, but it should be fine. Let's try one more here. A nice slight fade to that 150. There we go. Nice high pop. Didn't fade very much. Yeah, see, within 10 yards of that 150 marker. So that's a shot that I feel comfortable hitting with a Mizuno. And then finally, the last thing I do is I go kind of to an extreme where I'm almost looking to slice it when there's trouble on the left, because for me, my miss is usually to the left. So I'm going to really open my face and I'm really going to exaggerate this out to in motion here. And generally I get a very similar flight. See, and there it goes, nice little fade off to the right, and maybe 20 yards right of that 150. Where I was taking, if I were taking direct aim, that's where it would be. The sound on these is absolutely amazing. Let me hit a couple more power shots here. And again, expecting them to fade left. But the sound on these Mizuno is so consistent. It doesn't matter if it's a blade or a semi-cavity like this. I mean, look at the power on that. I mean, it's just, you hear it whiz away over 150. See, that's just exactly what you expect from a great iron. As the MP30. When it comes to on the range, this is as good as anything I've ever hit in my life.
One of my patrons, Mark B, bought a set of these, and that motivated me to kind of push it up in my schedule and review it. So Mark, this is for you. Locally, I talked to 2 friends about this club, and I got 2 different opinions, more similar than maybe I want to admit. The first, I'm just going to save for later, all right? Just buckle up, we'll talk about the first opinion here. The second opinion, for this individual, it was kind of a single track mind, where they're just like, when I think of Mizuno, I think of blades, and I would only buy a blade from Mizuno. Why would I buy anything else? And this is a cavity back, why would I buy it? It's interesting how authentic can play such a big role in our brains. Like, I hear this all the time with authentic food. My mom is from Hong Kong. I know authentic Hong Kongese food, okay? Some of it's good, some of it's okay. You know, it'll sustain you, but maybe not the most delicious thing you're going to seek after all the time. You go to one of my favorite restaurants, not a sponsor, Panda Express. For me, I don't know what it's like in other regions, but for me, the noodles they serve there would be called lo mein. But it says chow mein. They call it chow mein, even though it's, you know, from what I'm familiar with, it's lo mein. Is that authentic? Not to my history and the region that I'm familiar with. Some of the other food there, not authentic, very Americanized. And is it good? Yes, it's delicious. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. One of my favorite restaurants. So what does that mean? Some authentic food is not great. Some non-authentic food is amazing. So to me, personally, I'm all down with Taco Bell and chalupas. Fry those flatbread, whatever tacos you're making. They're delicious. Give me the chow mein, which is lo mein. I don't care. Delicious. I don't have a problem with this not being a blade. In fact, I have some Mizuno JPX 800s or 850. I think they're 800s that I game regularly all the time if I'm not playing a vintage set. So yeah, I love that. Now, the first opinion, which I'm saving for later, which is now, was a complaint that I share, that this isn't shiny enough. Why not, Mizuno? Why not just polish the inside of this? Why not make that a little bit more shiny? Bling. Does it affect the performance of the club? No, not at all. Nothing I'm talking about affects the performance. Well, the cavity back might affect it a tiny little bit, but not enough to write home about. Does that make sense? Make the head a little bit bigger because you put this cavity here. Is that what you got? Maybe. So for me, I would like to see something more shiny, which you could say, well, that's called a blade, the vintage golfer. Thank you. I mean, this is an amazing club when it comes to the look at a dress, when it comes to the feel. When I see this in my bag, it says Mizuno, and it's so sleek, even for a kind of a semi-cavity back. This cavity is so shallow and so beautiful. I don't have a problem with it. Would it be better if it were a little bit more shiny? Yeah, maybe a little bit better to look at. But dynamically, the feel, it's a Mizuno. And the sole, it's really hard, like, when you watch my range footage, when I get a club that has a really big fat sole, like Ping, for example, and I open up that face, I'm just looking at that, I'm just like, this is not going to work, because the sole sticks down and out, and you're just like, I'm going to thin it, and I do lots of times, depending on which lie you're in. And so it's very like, I don't like those huge soles, but this is perfect. And it has forgiveness on the leading edge. I mean, when I look at this, I have all the confidence in the world that the ball's going to do and I'm going to get out of the club what I can bring to the table, or the golf course, or the grass, or the turf, or the fairway, or the rough, or wherever I may be, the cart path. And so I like this club a lot. And of course, a huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. I offer general support on my Patreon page, and I post a few behind the scenes pictures and videos every month. If you'd like to support me in a different way, you can support me on Amazon. I have an Amazon shop. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe. I am The Vintage Golfer.